Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ned over My Philippine Dreams. That's Bridget, my trusty sidekick, who is not going to the beach today. Last night, my lovely and talented fiance had a sudden craving for ice cream. So after she got off work, this was about 9:30 p.m., we headed down to the Boulevard. Once we got down there, we went to 7-Eleven and we picked ourselves up some Magnums, the almond flavor Magnums. Well, they only had one almond flavor Magnum, so I got that, and she got a regular chocolate one. And we were consuming them and walking along the Boulevard. It was a nice night. Amihan is in effect, so you got the nice breeze, you got the waves, clear skies. It was just a very pleasant evening. Now along the way we saw a group of people up ahead, and they had some boxes on the ground and they were dispersing things. So I went over to investigate because I'm sort of inquisitive like that. And what I encountered was a bunch of Filipinos. There was about 4 or 5 Filipinos selling surgical masks. You guys maybe have heard of this coronavirus thing that's going around, and people think that if you wear the mask you're not going to catch the coronavirus. So they're sold out in a lot of places, and people are making a killing selling them on the streets for highly inflated prices. I also noticed that there was a Chinese couple standing a bit distant from them. They had a scooter by the side of the road. The guy had a helmet on the whole time, and his girlfriend was just standing there, and they were watching the goings on. I talked to the guys that were selling the masks for a while, and then we went to another location. I continued to just watch them, and we had another ice cream because, you know, ice cream's good. And after we were done with our final ice cream, we walked back over there and I got some video footage. And this, what's coming up now, is the footage from that encounter, and I'm basically gonna let it speak for itself. So without any further ado, here it is. Alright, so this was interesting this evening. You got people selling masks on the boulevard, and they're actually Chinese people selling masks on the boulevard, and now they're taking off. Yeah, so that's kind of ironic. So those were they Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese, yeah.
They're Chinese people selling masks against coronavirus on the boulevard.
Yes.
And they're selling them for 10 pesos each?
Yes.
So that's really overpriced, right? For the masks?
No, sir. Here in Philippines, the stocks nationwide is out of stocks. Luzon, Visayas.
So how many masks are in here?
50 pieces.
50 pieces, and you're selling them for 10 pesos each?
Yes.
So that's 500 pesos per box.
Yes.
Do you know how much those cost at Watson's or someplace? You know how much they cost for a box?
Well, if you buy in pharmacy, it's 15 pesos. Here, 15 pesos. We came from Mindanao. We get 8 pesos. We sell. We income 2 pesos only.
Oh, so you're only making 2 pesos each
Yes,
on
sir.
that. Oh, okay.
Enough for just, sir, for living, sir. Enough for living only.
Oh, okay. That's very nice. All right, there it is. That was an interesting encounter on the boulevard the other night in Dumaguete City. Now, keep in mind, I don't fully know what was going on. It could have been completely innocent. It could have been just some Filipinos that had a lot of money that were able to purchase these surgical masks, and the Chinese couple was just standing there for 45 minutes. But what did happen, what was kind of strange, was as we approached them, the Chinese couple got on their scooter. They had one of the big boxes of surgical masks, and they drove off. And the other guys, they had a box also, but it looked like it was empty because they picked it up rather quickly. They also packed up their stuff, and they wandered off. So again, I don't know what is actually going on. A couple things to keep in mind. Viruses are very, very, very small. I think it's like 0.02 microns in diameter, and they just zip right through these masks. So these masks aren't effective. And also, everybody in Dumaguete, all the Camote riders, you see in all these guys driving around with masks on and no helmets. Last year in the Philippines, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, 6,000 Filipinos died in motorcycle accidents, and they weren't wearing helmets. So far in the Philippines, I think only one person has died from coronavirus. So that's something to think about. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse. It's like I'm a reformed smoker. I didn't always used to wear helmets, but now I do. So now I'm one of those guys who are always like, hey, why aren't you wearing your helmet? But anyways, I'm just babbling on at this point. The video stands for itself. It is what it is. I don't know exactly what was going on. I'm not going to make judgment. I just thought I'd share it because it was an interesting encounter. Until next time, everybody, puppies, rainbows, and unicorns for all. Peace.
Hey, if you consider our work to be of any value, consider supporting us on Patreon. If you're a Patreon, you get a free copy of my ebook, and we do monthly Google Hangouts. So consider doing that, if you would please.